What's up, everybody? Morgan here. I'm with Riley Gaines today, and we're just going to be having a casual conversation and catch up because I haven't seen Riley since YWLS, and so really excited and glad that you're in HQ today.
I am so glad to be here. Arizona heat is no joke.
It's no joke. It is no joke. It is fall though, because we're in September. What is your go-to coffee order?
Oh, my go-to coffee order. Okay. Probably a mocha. I like the pumpkin. I like all the apple stuff. I don't normally support Starbucks, okay? But just last week I was in the Bahamas where there wasn't a lot of coffee options, and so I got this like apple oat milk crisp something, and it was delicious. So definitely a fall. Yeah, definitely a fall coffee drinker, no doubt.
I know you live in Nashville now, right?
I do.
And you just bought a house.
I did.
And you bought land.
I did.
And you have a husband.
I do.
Tell me about all of that. How has it been being married in your 20s, and how's that all been?
It has been the biggest blessing. I think a lot of the times, you know, when we see someone get married young, we judge them. We're quick to say, oh, you know, well, they're not fulfilling their fun period, blah, blah, blah. But I could not have found a better person for me, and we knew. He's actually from London, so he's this like really cute 6'4" British
London
guy
boy.
with this like country British accent now. Being from Nashville, it's like totally has a twang to it, so it's super cute. But he came over to the States to swim at Kentucky as well. I swore I was never gonna date a swimmer, but of course that doesn't work. So we started dating, did it all through college, got married, and we knew we wanted to build to have some land. So we moved just outside of Nashville where we got 5 acres, and my husband does construction, and so he built our house entirely, which was just wonderful. And so we have 2 little dogs, hoping to eventually sometime soon start a family. So
be a mom.
Exactly. And so like you just get old really quick.
Yeah.
And people forget, you know, I'm like a real person too. I have a life, I have a family, I have other things going on outside of all of the travel and craziness of kind of what we're both pursuing here. And so I'm very fortunate for him. He's my rock.
That's awesome. Like, you can finally have that slow-paced life after.
Exactly.
I feel like this past semester has been really crazy, especially I know you spoke at our Turning Point chapter at San Francisco State, and that was insane. How has life been ever since, you know, that kind of pivotal moment in speaking at a Turning Point chapter, and how that went to like now, you know, you still have your home, you have your husband and your dogs. How's that been?
So the San Francisco thing, that really was, pivotal is a good word, because before that I had credibility, I had this experience and this story, and people were willing to listen. But when I was essentially mobbed and attacked and held for ransom by these unhinged protesters, it almost gave me like more notoriety.
Yeah.
People saw how, I think the soullessness of these individuals and the spite and the vitriol and the hatred, and notice how they do it in the name of...
It's like how actually crazy they are.
Totally. And people saw that. And again, they do it in the name of love and inclusion and tolerance and acceptance and welcoming and all of these things. But what I saw and what so many other people were able to see because of the videos and the stories and the different things, they saw that that wasn't those things. I was there talking about my experience and really just advocating for the bare minimum. And what that bare minimum is women to have safety, women to have privacy, and women to have equal opportunities, especially as it pertains to sports. It's like the least controversial thing someone could even be saying. Yet when you're met with that sort of, again, just hatefulness, I think it opened a lot of people's eyes. And so that really was kind of like a turning point, no pun intended. That really was like a turning point for me, and I think really even for the movement.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I know a lot of people like saw that video and they finally realized how much the indoctrination on college campus and how bad it's gotten of like, wow, conservative speakers can't even go, and you are one of the champions for protecting women's sports, protecting women's safe spaces. So with that, how do you deal with like, you know, a lot of the hate, especially coming from the left when you're just protecting something that should have been protected all along?
It was all just either calling me ugly, which just doesn't really hurt my feelings. I'm like, okay, they would call me bad at swimming. You know, maybe you should have swam harder. Maybe you should have just trained more if you really wanted to beat her, as they would say, you should have just trained harder. And by her, they are referring to the 6'4" man who's actually a him. And once I started to realize that it was simply just name calling, it was just people directing their insecurities at me, I was able to handle it a lot better and really kind of use it as fuel. And what I realized is people don't waste ammunition on targets they don't want to hit. And so that kind of showed me that I'm right over the target. And another thing I noticed about the people commenting these things, one, they have no profile picture. They're like hiding themselves.
Hiding. They're the keyboard warriors.
Totally. Two, they've never been an athlete themselves. They don't know the work that goes into it. They don't know how much of my life I dedicated to my sport, how many sacrifices I had to make. They think it's just, they don't understand. Once I was able to realize those things, it was easier for me to process and kind of just tune them out. That being said, the support that I have received over the past year and a half or however long I've taken this public stance has been tenfold anything negative. Oh my gosh, the support rolls in. Even today, getting off the plane to come here, I had probably 15 people stop and were like, oh my gosh, like, thank you for doing what you're doing. Some of the times they would even be whispering like, thanks for doing what you're doing. I have a daughter myself and she plays lacrosse and blah, blah, blah.
And I bet knowing that what you're doing and speaking out is not only just impacting right now, but every single other female athlete in the future.
For sure. And that's a big part of why I continue on.
Yeah.
I have a little sister who is an amazing gymnast. She's the Tennessee state champion. She's incredible. And I can't imagine being in the position that I'm in, facing what I face, seeing what I saw, experiencing what we experienced, and not fighting for her. As I mentioned, my husband and I can only hope one day that I'm fortunate enough to have a daughter of my own, and not fighting for her. The women who came before me, who fought relentlessly for Title IX so I could have the opportunities I had. In their same lifetime, they're seeing those benefits being taken away. So I'm fighting for them as well. And of course, the present female athletes who, as I know all too well, are effectively silenced.
Right.
They're emotionally blackmailed into staying quiet. And so fighting for them, being a megaphone for so many others, even someone like Megan Rapinoe, who's done playing now. I'm actually even fighting for Megan Rapinoe.
So, given all the hate that you get, your life, what is the biggest misconception that people have about you?
Ooh, I think people think I'm pretty tall. I'm just not, especially in terms of like,
are you?
I'm like 5'5", 5'6".
Okay.
But in terms of like swimmers, most swimmers are very tall. Again, Leah Thomas,
That's true.
a whopping 6'4". Granted, that's a man, but most swimmers, they are closer to that 6 foot range. And so for swimmers, I'm really not that
Which
tall.
just makes it even more impressive.
Yeah, right?
What are you most passionate about other than
Ooh.
swimming, being a wife and standing up for women? What are you most passionate about in life? Hobbies. What are your favorite hobbies?
So I'm very into fitness. Of course, when you swim your whole life and you play sports and then you graduate and it ends, it's kind of like, okay, now what? Like I've been competing, I've been working towards goals and all those things. And so now I'm running marathons and triathlons and different things. And so very involved there. Things I really care about. Oh, I love food.
What's your favorite food?
Oh, I don't know.
Favorite cuisine?
Okay, my number one weakness is probably chocolate chip cookies.
Ooh.
Cookies in general, like my Achilles.
Are you a crumble girl?
I'm a crumble girl. I think crumble is founded by conservatives. So we need to fact check this.
If they are,
we need to sponsor us. I think.
We'll do crumble reviews.
Yeah, big time foodie. So any kind of food. I'm not picky. I like spicy food. I like it all. So yeah.
Big foodie, marathon girl. What don't you do?
Well, sing.
No singing.
I don't sing. I don't dance.
No dancing, no karaoke. Noted.
Yeah, exactly.
What is something that you wish the public knew about you?
Something that I don't feel like gets talked enough about when you're on Fox or any of these little bitty media hits you do that's like 2-3 minutes. You don't get to express your faith. I see it more daily of just how spiritual this battle is and just how much, really the Bible prophesizes this.
Oh, absolutely.
It tells us we're going to go through a time where our yeses are no's and our no's are yeses. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us how long we have to endure this. But the beautiful part is we know who wins. And so my faith is such a big part of me. It's such a big part of, again, back to like the hate and the different things. My faith is what keeps me grounded. It's what keeps me moving forward. And so I feel like not enough people know that. And it really is something that's so important to me. Every night when I go to bed, I pray for direction, I pray for strength, and I pray for wisdom. And so I think that's a big part in a lot of the cultural issues that we're seeing plague America. it's entirely spiritual.
I know faith means a lot to you, it means a lot to me, and I definitely see, especially in our generation, that there is a spiritual battle going on, and we kind of are living in this godless society almost with a lot of godly people. How has faith impacted your life, especially over the past year and a half after leaving college, and how have you seen God work through your life specifically?
Well, I grew up in the church. I'm very fortunate to have a strong family foundation and a strong spiritual foundation. But this past year, as I just mentioned, I've just been spiritually awakened. As a Christian, I know the only place that we will be satisfied is when we put our identity in Christ. And so I've seen so clearly how God works and how he moves through me. The whole situation, how Thomas and I tied down to the 100th of a second, what happened with the trophy incident, all of the different pieces, it shows me that God has his hand in it. And it's, make no mistake, it's not just in women's sports. It's in corporate America, it's in academia, it's in the churches themselves, it's all over. We're seeing this battle again of moral versus evil. And so I feel like I'm in this position of once you see it, you can't unsee it. And again, that's a big part of why I continue fighting to spread his word and his message, because that's, again, as Christians, as humans, that's why we're here on this earth.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself. That is incredible. Thank you for stopping by.
No, this is so fun. And you're amazing. And I so appreciate the work you do and the work that Turning Point does. And so I couldn't be more grateful to be here.
This is awesome. Well, that was our casual conversations with Riley Gaines. And if you guys want to see more content like this, be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment down below, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.